Okay guys, what's up? Welcome to another video. Today's video is just going to be a nice little sit down chat with one of my new friends, Aidan O'Brien.
Aidan? New friends, I like that. No new
friends? More than friends. We literally met each other last week. Aidan, explain how we crossed paths, what happened.
It's interesting how the universe kind of brought us together. So it was last year in Dubai doing a video with
Uncle Mike.
Uncle Mike, as you call him. And I think that relationship, kind of just keeping in touch with Mike and chatting at different points, and obviously I've been aware of you.
Yeah.
And then just recently it came up in conversation about, you know, your journey and your process and everything, and you know, Mike said you should kick him up the ass, and I was like, I could probably kick him up the ass, but in a good way, you know, in a way of helping and shining some light on some things. So Mike connected us.
Yeah.
You know, shout out Mike for that. And since then it's been kind of, I mean, pretty quickly, I think there was good connection there and understanding.
Very fast. So yeah, Mike said, send Aiden your number. He's gonna give you a little kick up the bum. Mike is always worried that, Mike says he doesn't want me to be a waste of potential. And I really appreciate that from Mike. Mike has always looked after me, he's helped me with everything. And he said, I'm gonna send your number to Aiden, is that okay? I said, yes, of course. Aiden then reached out to me and said, hey Louis, I spoke with Mike. I'm going to be in Ibiza for 2 or 3 days. I would love to meet up, catch up, and see if we can do something together. And me and Aidan met at Cappuccino. We were meant to meet for an hour or so, ended up being there for 3 hours, and instantly the connection was just like, I just felt such a vibe with Aidan. It was, and Aidan's Irish as well, and I think Irish people have a very special like way of connecting.
Yeah, I connect definitely.
Yeah, like. So. And I just instantly felt very comfortable with Aiden. I felt like I could open up and tell him absolutely everything. And in the 3 hours, I literally left and I was on a high for 2 or 3 days. And then Aiden then extended his trip for a couple of days, stayed, hung around with me and Joel, and we literally got along so well. Aiden was like, do you know what? I'm gonna come back next weekend as well. So, Aiden is gonna help me with a number of things. Obviously this summer, it's my first summer that I've been away from home. I've moved out of my house, and first time being in Ibiza with all the clubs being opening and all of that, and I've kind of gone a little bit off track. It's not that I've been really enjoying myself, but I know that I can do so much better, and I know I can find a balance where I can enjoy myself, party, and also be more productive and do more. So Aiden has a lot of experience. Tell us about your experience.
It'd be a long video, but
just quickly.
I suppose I've been coaching and mentoring people for many years. Even on, maybe some of you guys saw Mike's video, we were talking about confidence and things like that. So my background is health and wellness. I used to run gyms like 15 years ago, then worked on cruise ships, traveled all over the world on cruise ships, and I was doing seminars every week. We had 4,000 people every Sunday, 4,000 people, and I was teaching seminars all the time on health, wealth, mindset, all that kind of stuff. In 2010 I made a decision. I always talk about, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, phenomenal book if you haven't read it. Any young budding entrepreneur, you should definitely read that book. And I made a decision, I'm going to go out on my own in 2010. I always say, like, I became an entrepreneur before it was sexy. Like, it's sexy now, but in 2010 it was still a recession, and people wanted to go to get a job, go to college, get a job. And for me, I just wanted freedom. I just wanted to live life on my terms.
Yeah.
And on the cruise ships, you know, there's 150 ships, 2 people in every position, and after 3 months I was like at the top in sales. And I think it's a lot being Irish, actually, being able to communicate and connect with people. So in 2010 I made a decision, I'm going to run my own events, I'm going to teach people about sales, I'm going to teach people about mindset, I'm going to teach people how to speak on stage. And I started doing that, and I connected with a couple of companies, did some trainings, and ended up traveling all over the world, you know, 30, 40 flights a year. Built another business myself, a big marketing company from Europe. And I built an organization, 20,000 people in 8 countries. So I learned all the skills of leadership, sales, communication, people, doing thousands of meetings, traveling all over North and South America, Thailand, India, everything. And on that journey, I became a professional coach. I was really interested in the coaching philosophy because, you know, I love the idea of finding the answers that are in ourselves and within us.
Yeah.
And over the last 3-4 years, like, I still have a couple other projects I do, but my main kind of focus, my mission is really working one-to-one. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners. I work with a lot of executives, senior level people. Some of my clients are in companies, you know, with 50,000 employees, some of the biggest companies in the world. And then I have some mentorship group programs for like the masses, how to have more confidence, how to understand, you know, why you think the way you think, your self-image, your identity. So really I'm working with people from all ages, all backgrounds. I have people over 10 countries on my client list, and it's now 15 years of working with people. So
It's insane.
I feel like I've seen it all, I've heard it all,
Yeah.
and even with you, I could see things that I was like, I know exactly. And I'm still going through my journey. That's the thing. There's no arriving. It's always about leveling up in some way.
Yeah.
But the leveling up is not external anymore. It's more of an internal thing.
Yeah.
And I can see people who are very much pulled by external stuff. And what we want to do is we want to bring it inside. Your power's in, it's not out.
Yeah.
And that's what we talked about as well. So
Yeah, Aiden said that he watched a couple of my videos and he was like, I can see what I can do to help this guy. He could see straight away, even when we were talking cappuccino, he's asking me questions and already pretty much knowing what the answer was going to be. Like,
you were surprised. You were like, "How did you?" You said to me, "It's like you know me already."
Yeah,
Like,
not literally. We'll wait for that plane to fly over. Aiden would poke questions at me, try and just get information out of me, and without me even telling Aiden the answer, he already knew the answer. And I was like, it's so weird that like he just knew exactly how I felt and what I was thinking and my experience with certain things. And I think Aiden's biggest thing is what he teaches people is self-awareness, because
Yeah.
so many people don't know what they want, don't know what direction they're going into. He's already helping people who have been extremely successful, but
Yeah.
maybe they're not, even though they've been successful, they're still not happy, they're
the
still
thing.
not confident. And I think the thing with me is I am quite confident, but there's so many other things that I'm not actually good at. And I feel like I'm self-aware, I feel like I know what I need to change. And that's why the time that Aiden literally messaged me, I had been lying on the beach and I had started writing down some new goals, some new targets, some new things that I needed to do to change my life, and literally Aiden texted me at the perfect time and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So
Yeah.
Aiden's going to be helping me for the next, how long?
I mean, there's no real time,
No.
right? Like, we're on this journey. We've started this journey already. You know, a lot of stuff has happened. Magic has happened already.
Yeah.
And it's not really about time. Like, for me, I always say I don't care about motivating people anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I've done all that. It's like
Yeah.
I care about the result. And that's
Yeah.
why, like, even every client that works for me, I have a call with them first. You
Yeah.
know. And I know we're going to give people a chance here to have a free call with me as well.
Yeah.
So there'll be a link where you can just have a chat.
Yeah.
And as a you know, you're giving them back some value.
Yeah.
But for me, I have to speak with everyone because I want to know where they're at. And that was our chat. Remember, unless people are ready to walk the path, it's a waste of time.
Yeah, Aiden said to me very, very carefully, so many times, he said, I'm going to be straight with you, Louis. If you're not ready to change and you're not ready to make some sacrifices and some commitment, then we need to wait a little bit longer until maybe you are ready. So the thing is, right now I am ready. It's the end of the season here in Ibiza. There's 1 week left. So I'm certainly ready for change. I'm ready to kind of take it up a level. And for example, Aiden asked me, like, what makes me happy? What am I not good at? What do I need to improve? And I kind of know what I want, but then when Aiden started asking me more and more questions, it become even more clear what I need to change and what I need to do.
So one of the things we said we work on a lot with people is it's the same kind of with everybody. Like, one of the main things people suffer with is clarity.
Yeah.
And like, you have ideas of what you think you want, but what you really want is different. You
Yeah.
know. And a lot of times our identity is what other people have told us we should be and
Exactly.
who we are. So one of the first things we're going to do, and what I do with every client, is get clarity. Like, okay, who are you? What do you want? Where do you want to go? Like, when's the last time you asked yourself that question? Who am I? What do I really want? Where do I want to go? Who am I becoming? Like, these questions have powerful answers.
Yeah.
But we never allow ourselves to ask them or create the space. Once you have clarity, then you get confidence. 'Cause
Yeah.
now I know who I am as a man or as a woman, whoever you are. Now I know who I am as a person. I know what I want.
Yeah.
And I know. And even if you don't know how to get there, you know what it looks like.
Yeah.
And you'll find a way, then you'll navigate it.
Yeah.
And then it's about communication. Like, so this is the 3 C's we talked about. The communication. How do you communicate with yourself? So how are you thinking every day? How are you speaking to yourself? You know, and then the external stuff is, how do I influence what's around me? Because everything you want, other people have. And for me, like, speaking and knowing who you are and what you want, and then being able to communicate that is one of the most powerful skills in the world.
And I think it's very obvious, being with Aiden in certain situations, certain environments, restaurants, dinners, all of this stuff, even walking along the beach, walking along the street, the way that you speak to people, it's like, I can't describe it. I've never seen anything like it. It's just like, and you immediately have their attention, you have their focus, and I don't know, the way Aiden speaks to people is just, I feel like you have clarity, confidence, all of that stuff nailed down to a T, and I think you can see what they're missing and point them in the right direction.
I mean, and that goes into a whole other element of like business and entrepreneurship. Like the ability to read between the lines to see what's really going on with people is the secret to great communication.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times with communication, people are worried about themselves. It's never about you, it's about them.
Yeah.
And we've had conversations in restaurants at 2 or 3 in the morning, deep conversations, a group of us, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like, everything is right there in front of us. We just have to know how to see it, you know what I mean, and to hear it. So it's just, again, like you said, awareness.
Yeah.
And that's what we're gonna. And I just want to give you credit, because even doing this on camera and saying, hey, I'm not where I want to be and I want to go further, and I'm working with someone to get further. I mean, that's unbelievable. Like, number one, it's accountability, which I always encourage people, but just the vulnerability of it. And I think it's such a massive value add. And that's why I agreed to be part of it as well. Is that we're gonna.
So I'm gonna ask Aiden kind of 3 questions that I think guys in a similar situation to me, my age, you guys who watch all my videos might be struggling with. So number 1, I would say, is basically how do they get out of a bad routine or change their habits, or maybe they're living the same day, the same routine, and it's making them unhappy. They go to the same job that they don't like, and they're just comfortable in it, and they don't know how to kind of break out of that cycle that they're comfortable in, and they're kind of scared to take a step forward.
Yeah. I mean, that goes back to what we touched on with clarity. You know, the biggest thing I notice with all my clients, even the executive guys, the really successful guys, you know, doing millions a year, hundreds of millions a year, they have no vision. So everyone has ideas of what they think they want, but it's very mental. It's very just based on like, oh, that sounds good, or that sounds good. It's a dream, you know. But when you get a vision, like you literally feel it in your body. Like it makes you emotional. It can make you shiver. Like it's something that really pulls you. I always talk about like a vision. You get pulled into a vision. Without a vision, you're pushing yourself all the time uphill. It's like you're swimming against the current. Every time you take a step forward, you take 2 steps back. And again, because they don't have a real vision. So one thing I do with all my clients is create a vision for like 3, 4, 5 years from now. What's your a day in the life look like? What time are you waking up? Where do you want to wake up? Who's waking up next to you? You know, what's your routine like? Are you stretching? Are you working out? What's your business? What's your job? What's everything? What's your nighttime routine like? How much do you travel? Like, we get really specific. I always say, like, don't think of your future, think from your future. So what that means basically is when you get super clear in your vision and you imagine it deeply, you can actually feel what that feels like. From a neuroscience point of view, your brain doesn't know what's real and what your perception is. So when you go deep in visualization, it thinks it's real. And what happens then is you feel different. You start to feel, like the more you do it, you feel that future. And what happens when you feel better? You do more.
Everything becomes easier and better.
Because before actions come feelings. Like the days you feel like going to the gym, you go to the gym. The days you feel like picking up the phone to call that girl or to make a sales call, you do it. When you don't feel like it, you don't do it. So when you get a vision and you get super clear and you can feel it, now you choose different things. It's not magic like law of attraction. No. I'm thinking from my future. It's emotionally charged. Like, I mean, I feel it in my body. Now I'm taking action. So I'm choosing from that place now. And that's why you hear all these people say, like, the future you want is already yours. It actually is. But a lot of the things you think you want, you don't want. So we have to get clear on what you really want. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. And what Aiden's talking about is that spark, that fire that most people probably never feel in their lives. But for example, a prime example that's almost kind of similar is me and Aiden. Aiden loves to run like me. Say you go out for a 5K and one day you're just feeling it, and you push and you do 10 or 15K, and it's just so easy and it feels so natural. Your body's just running in motion without even, you're not telling it to do anything. It just feels so natural. And that's,
but also there you're in a flow. Like there, the mind is off there. You see, that's the key again. Like we're so in the mind. That's our biggest problem. We need to get into the body. When you get into the body and you feel it, like you feel, there's no thinking then. It's just doing. It's just being. And too much. The world today wants you thinking all the time. It's thinking about Netflix. It's thinking about social media. It's thinking about eating, drinking, fucking, everything.
We never disconnect ever.
So we're pulled away from our true self. When we get back into ourselves, we have the power. I use the example as you about the water bottle. It's full, and then you're stabbing it every day with thoughts and fears and doubts, and your leakage everywhere. All this energy is leaking out, and you're wondering why you feel like crap, and you've no motivation to do anything. So when you get that vision, we get clear on who we are, we're focused on ourselves, forget everything outside of us, and now we start taking action. And there's a whole other things to do then, but now we have an anchor to keep us going forward. You know what I'm saying?
That was one of Aiden's best examples ever to me. When we met, I was kind of just pouring out to him, and he was like,
I was drowning.
He was like, look, think of a water bottle, think it's been stabbed with a pen however many times, and he could see me just literally, the bottle just draining and the water spilling out everywhere. And of course it's good to open up, but it's what Aiden is going to help me with is how to control all of that stuff and make sure that I'm not pouring out all over the place and spilling all my energy.
Just leaving energy go everywhere, and you're doing it with the right intention, but you're still losing energy.
Exactly.
So you want to keep that energy in, and you want to be strong in yourself, and we are responsible for ourselves. So that would be the answer, short answer to that question. Was let's get super clear on your vision.
Yeah.
So it's actually so much fun doing this. You get to really see who you are as a man, what you're capable of, your vision for your life, and there's real power in that.
Yeah.
It's real because it's yours. It's not dependent on something else. Everything else is external, like that girl, that job, that money, that this. It's all bullshit. It's illusion.
Yeah.
You've no control. You've no strength in that.
Yeah.
And it's like a strong wind comes and takes it away, blows it away. So what we want to do is bring all that power back into you, and there's no ego in that either. It's a different thing. It's not like this fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
No, this is real. Real confidence is silent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a posture, it's an energy, and you don't need to convince anybody of anything.
Yeah. It's so good. Like, I'm just getting fired up again just listening to this. Another question I think that a lot of people sometimes message me on Instagram is if they've gone through a recent breakup, maybe they've been going out with their girlfriend for 5 years or even their wife or whatever, and they kind of are just completely lost and they don't know what to do. So what's your...
Solve that, please.
No, yeah, I'm not going to solve it, but Aiden, obviously you guys know with my relationship history that I've been going through a bit of a transitional period, and Aiden I told him a little bit and he just gave me some solid advice, and again, that's something that I feel like you're really, really good at helping people with.
I appreciate that. I just want to make one thing. I rarely give advice per se. I'll always ask you in a way that you find the answer, because that's why actually what coaching is. And I hate the word coach and that because everyone has what they think it is.
Yeah.
But we all have the answers within. You just need someone to bring them out. So I don't have the answers. I just have the questions. Maybe I have the questions to bring the answer out. But just to clarify that, because I know I give advice.
Yeah.
And that's not to cop out really, but it's just way more powerful when it comes from within.
And you bring me to the realization.
Because that's the only way to actually learn.
Yeah.
People can tell us stuff all the time, and it means nothing, right?
And I noticed when I first met Aiden, he was poking me to make me just...
They'll think, who's this guy just poking Louis all the time?
Yeah. But that's what you need. Sometimes that's what you need. Like, sometimes your own best friends don't ask you enough questions to like, they might be your best friends, you have the best time together, but even the ones closest to you don't ask you the questions that are maybe make you feel uncomfortable or hard to answer. Yeah. And that's when the truth really comes out, and that's when you really kind of start to think about everything.
Yeah, it's just bringing awareness. Like, you know, it can feel like poking sometimes, like it's trying to just get a reaction out of me, but it's not. It's actually just to wake. It's like trying to wake somebody up, kind of. Like, it's like a nudge. It's more of a nudge.
Yeah.
Let's go and nudge.
Which is very important, especially if you convince yourself that you're doing something right or that it's okay to do this, and someone else says to you, questions you on it, it makes you kind of take a step back and think about it, which is, again, the most important thing.
So around relationships, like, what is specifically you asking me, like how to overcome it, where to go next? What
so say, for example, a guy my age, 29, they've been going out with a girl for 5 years, and maybe that girl was their everything, and now they feel like they're 29, they're close to 30, they just don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know how to even approach girls. They don't know, should they move on or should, like... It
comes back to the answer at part of the last question, that again, and we've all been there, we're all guilty of it. We find, like, because each partner, like, I say for the girls it's the same, like they all have something that feeds us, you know what I mean? And when we're asleep, I always use the word asleep now, or awake, when we're kind of asleep to this, we have all of our power in the women.
Yeah.
We have all of our identity, especially if it's, oh, she's hot and I got her. There's so much validation, there's so much acceptance, and there's so much safety. And it actually comes from fellas, from our mother, like that's initially where it all comes from. But we don't realize, we just think we like her or she's hot or whatever. But we like how she makes us feel.
Yeah.
That's what we like, or we love how she makes us feel. We might actually love her. She might do some shit that we don't like.
Yeah.
But when she's switched on, she controls us kind of by how she makes us feel, and that becomes addictive. And then there's oftentimes you see a girl and you're like, I don't even like when she does that, but then she knows how to, because they just have instincts, man. They know what they're doing with us, right?
Yeah.
But the key is, again, to come back to self. It's to be aware, first of all, that okay, my addiction to that, or my obsession to that, or my love that I perceive as love, is really just like an attachment.
Yeah.
It's actually just feeding something in me that I haven't addressed myself, so I'm not unaware of. And every relationship is actually a lesson. And if we don't ask ourselves what am I learning from this, we're wasting it. Yeah. And then we get the same chick again. That's why we have the same girls, same relationships, same patterns, same programs. You know, these passionate relationships that end explosively,
Yeah.
or whatever, because we're not learning, and
Yeah.
we keep reaching for it. And I guarantee most people listen, they see patterns.
Yeah.
The girls are similar in some way. The story's similar. It ends the same way, and it all starts like magic. And here's one thing I want to change. Everyone thinks that beginning, that's an illusion, right? When everything is rosy in the honeymoon period, and then by the end it's reality.
Yeah.
It's actually the opposite. At the beginning is reality.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning there's no fear of losing them.
No.
There's no attachment. You're just putting your best self out there, putting your best self out. That's actually reality. It's only then when the fear of losing them kicks in, the attachment, the doubt. That's when the ego comes in.
Yeah.
And that's illusion.
Yeah.
Isn't that
And that's-
funny?
Yeah, and that's when it becomes, stuff starts to go bad because people are trying to control each other.
But people say like the honeymoon is just a honeymoon, and then reality. No, the reality is the beginning actually, because that's when we're our freest.
Yeah.
Later we're not free. We're afraid, and we're attached. So that's the fucking illusion. And that flipped something major for me. So it's like, why can't I have this then all the time? Well, someone else is going to give it to you.
Yeah.
You got to find it in yourself. So for those guys who are hurting, it's like, okay, I need to shake this off for a second. It's not them, it's me.
Yeah.
And that's, to take that responsibility is a challenge, and to do the work is the challenge. That's why I said to you, bro, when you're ready to do the work, let's go.
Yeah.
Because I don't make anybody do anything.
Yeah.
I can just shine the light where to look, but you have to walk the path,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you're ready to do that, that's where freedom is, you see. But the bravest thing you can do is face yourself. You never want to face yourself. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It hurts our ego. We look vulnerable.
Yeah.
We look messy. It is messy. So we run the other way. We distract ourselves with food, drink, sex, drugs, whatever. It's all distraction.
Yeah.
And then we go into the same trap over and over again, and we're wondering why I was 19, 29, 39, still making the same mistakes.
Yeah. It's so true. So true.
It's like, let's make a stop now, and let's say, okay, what can I do different? Let's look in the mirror.
Yeah, and I think that runs on to the third question, which is, what if you already, for example, if you're already successful, Aiden helps so many people that are already successful. What, like, can you drop your ego and think, what can someone else help me?
Mm.
Like, so many people struggle to think like, oh, I can sort my own shit out myself. I don't need anyone's help. I don't need anyone's advice.
That's what they think, all the time, yeah.
But actually, for example, I was just telling Aiden, like Cristiano Ronaldo, I just listened to a podcast where Jordan Peterson went round to Cristiano Ronaldo's, and everyone thinks of Cristiano Ronaldo as the biggest role model, so successful,
Alpha,
which he is,
doesn't mean
alpha.
anything, yeah.
But even he is able to drop his ego and be like, look, I need someone else's perspective. I need someone else with a different whole experience of life to look in on me and see maybe what's missing, or kind of poke me a bit.
You know the funny thing is though, he's had coaches his whole life.
Exactly.
He's literally had daily training and accountability since he was 5 years old. He's never done anything without a coach.
Yeah.
So it's not even Peterson, it's his whole life.
Yeah.
He's had every type of coach you can imagine.
True.
People don't think that, because they
Yeah.
think I need to go and work muscle, I'll get a personal trainer. Like, people invest $500,000 on a mortgage for a house they spend a couple hours a night in, a couple hours a day. They spend 20, 30, 50, 100,000 on a car they spend a couple hours a day in. And they spend nothing on their mind that they spend every living, breathing second of their life in. Imagine that, how insane that is. And it's the most complex thing, our mind and our bodies. And we take care of the physical, and some don't, some do.
Yeah.
But how do we take care of the emotional, the mental? So I think that's why I admire about you even saying, let's do this and let's share with the world what we're doing.
And I really, really think nowhere near enough people actually, people are too scared. They feel embarrassed to say, oh,
Yeah.
look, I'm going to therapy, or I've got someone help me there. I don't know why they feel embarrassed about that, or why they
It's
think.
ego, because it's illusion, because you're convinced of a story that's not real.
Yeah.
Because everything is a story. Everything, it's not real. You
Yeah.
know, every successful person has a coach or a mentor. Someone either creating space for them to learn, mentoring them, teaching them. Like, you always want to find someone who's walked the path you want to walk.
Exactly.
Because they've walked it already. So, like I remember reading this book here, or one of these speakers was Jim Rohn, my mentor. He's like my spirit animal. He's dead now, but he's incredible, right? And his books are amazing. He's like, if a guy went through something for 50 years and wrote a book, and you could read it and learn all those lessons in 5 hours, would you not read the book like? 5 hours or 50 years? It's so obvious like that, but we
Yeah.
don't think of it like that. So every successful person, like I have clients who do 150 million pounds a year, and they're like, Aiden, I need, you know, and they have some stuff together and another part, because everything is connected.
Yeah.
And they always come to me with what they think they want, and it's like, I have to be like a Trojan horse, you know,
Yeah.
to give them what they need.
Yeah.
Because we all have an idea of what we think But again, we're so limited. It's only what we know. You need someone to come in from above and look down and pull you out, so you can see everything from a different.
Exactly.
Because we're conditioned to see everything the same way. So every single successful person has a coach or a mentor or someone. Every professional athlete.
Yeah.
Like LeBron James,
a
million a year. How many coaches and people around him? And you have John, who's 25 or 35 at home, and he's afraid to get a coach or to invest in an online course or to go to a seminar.
It's insane, and that's why I really, when we met immediately after our conversation, I said let's do a YouTube video together. And Aiden was like, what can we do? And I was like, honestly, a sit down, honest conversation like this, where I think, like, I'm super proud and so happy that Aiden said yes, I'll help you, and I'm gonna prove to him what I can do.
To yourself.
Yeah, to myself. But also, I don't want to let you down. I don't want you to waste any of your time, because already our connection is so good, and I wanted to create this video to show you guys that you have no reason to be embarrassed to take yourself to the next level.
Yeah.
And Aiden, like, already, literally I met him last week, and already he's back here and we're connecting, we're having such good chats. Like, every single conversation we have helps me in some way, and I learn something from it. So,
and me as well, and it goes both ways. That's the thing, there's no one way. Like, every time you take a step, you're getting something back. It's not, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, being open to receive. I always talk about receiving unexpectedly. Everybody wants to receive what they know, but what you know is limited. You know so little. So if you set an intention to receive unexpectedly, like, good things happen. More than you expect can happen.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy. When you do that, then you're like, oh, and that's like your higher self guiding you.
Yeah.
And you're moving, and then suddenly, like, miracles can happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's unbelievable. And all the, even hanging out, Joe, all these conversations we've had, like, every day, it's like unbelievable conversations. You know, and that's how you know you're in alignment.
Yeah.
So alignment, things move almost effortlessly.
Yeah.
The mind's like, oh no, it has to be hard, or it doesn't.
No.
It's just we're so used to living from the mind. We gotta just live from in here.
Yeah.
And it sounds cheesy, right? Like fellas talking about live from your heart. But your heart, they check your heartbeat before they check your brain when you're born. Like, your heart is a sign of life. Your heart is pure present. Your mind is past focused. Your mind is future focused. Your heart is present moment. Like, when you get to listen to your heart, you're free. And it's saying there's no arriving. I'm on my journey as well. Like, I'm just, and that's why I talk about it like that. Like you, I tell people when I'm struggling. I tell people the issues I have, and that's how I know it, because I'm going through it.
Exactly.
So we all have to walk the path. Like, you know? And just by you walking the path, you immediately help others. Just by you walking it.
Exactly. So, anyway.
It's exciting times.
No, I'm literally so excited. I'm super hyped. Okay, guys. So, as you can see, I'm sure you can see by just watching the video, watching my body language, watching how happy I am. I'm smiling, I'm enthusiastic, and Aiden just gets me fired up. And it's always so good to just spend time with people who get you fired up. There isn't many people in the world like that, so it's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do down below in the description is I'm going to put Aiden's link, where you can reach out to Aiden, you can fill in your details, and you can book a 5-minute call, like a consultation call with Aiden.
Might be more than 5, depends how it goes, but we'll go with the flow.
Exactly. I'll put his website in, his Instagram. What's your Instagram?
At Aiden O'Brien Official.
Perfect. His content's super nice on there. All the reels, super motivational, inspirational. I really like it. And also podcast.
They had the new podcast called Back to You, and it's real. It's a lot of truth in it. It's all about how do you get back to yourself. There's a lot of powerful information for free there, you know. So, and we're doing a dating and relationships episode shortly, so that'll definitely be worth checking out. So it's on Spotify, Apple as well.
Perfect.
Podcast.
But yeah, thank you for everything, bro. I'm so happy to have met you.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned, guys.
It's gonna be interesting.
But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions at all, comment down below. And let me know if you want to see more videos like this, because I feel like these conversations are really what is the most powerful things in life.
But it's natural. I love that. It's real. This is the conversation we have anyway, and except we go deep in the other ones for hours, but this is such a glimpse, like a fly on the wall. I think it's hopefully people get some value from it, you know. So
exactly. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Peace.